Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Play the intro. Let's go.
Okay.
That'll
Well,
give us time.
hello, people. I'm new.
Yes, you are. We're,
Yeah.
we're
What
about
did
to start.
I have to switch my mic?
All right.
See you in a few seconds.
Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome to the Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, a podcast by the Experiencer Support Association. I'm your host, Jamie Delzell, and I want you to join us for a trip down another rabbit hole where we find all kinds of unusual and unexplained phenomena. Remember, the first 30 minutes of the show is absolutely free and available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Head over to Patreon and catch 30 minutes and beyond of extra audio as we dive even further into today's topics, exclusively for our subscribed fans with top secret things. Now let's dive right in.
Oh, hopefully all your ears are good. We are here and we are live. It is Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, episode 23, I think you said. It's in the 20s.
Episode 20 for season 2, but I believe it's 23 in total. I'd have to fact check that.
All right. Well, we're in the 20s, but we are episode 1 of being live and here for your viewing pleasures, and we're just going to have a good time. For those of you that don't know, my name is Jamie Delzell, and my sidekick, or the other half of the show, Mr. Ryan Stacy.
Hello, hello, hello.
And for those of you that haven't been checking us out, we'll just kind of give you a brief intro of who we are. Like I said, my name is Jamie Delzell. I am an actor, wellness coach, wellness manager for Blacklight Investigative Services, and paranormal enthusiast, I like to call myself, host of Haunted Huronia. If you haven't seen, it's on Bell 5. I believe it's still got a couple of years left of circulation. But that show is actually, the first episode is on YouTube, and episode 2 will be live on Saturday. A little bit about me. That's pretty good. Ryan?
Okay, well, my name's Ryan Stacy. I have been named by my followers, citizen journalist and UFO paranormal researcher. By trade, I'm actually a private investigator. I own and operate a business called Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services. And through that investigating firm, what we do is we sponsor the actual investigations for a group that Jamie and I are part of, which is called the Experiencer Support Association. And so my company, as well, which Jamie is part of, we donate the investigative resources to the phenomena. For those of you who have been following me, I guess the best way to describe myself is I'm a dog in the sense of in ufology, and I've been sniffing a lot of stuff out. I tend to be very controversial, but it's only because I want the truth. So if you either love me or hate me, but I'm here. So
that's great intro. That's really, pretty good. It's pretty good.
Everyone usually says, like, fuck that guy.
You're live on Facebook. You gotta censor yourself a bit.
Oh yeah.
I guess. I don't know. They might shut us down.
You guys can comment.
Yeah. Ryan, watch the F-bombs. Cool. So that's a little bit about us. So if you haven't been listening to the show, if this is your first time, you can tune back in on all your favorite podcast listening devices. Devices is not the word, but what do you call that? Podcast streaming services. There we go. Yeah. We've talked about a lot of cool stuff. We kind of dive into pretty much anything from, we tend to lean towards the paranormal stuff, but get into some controversy here and there with don't censor. Okay, fair enough. It's late enough. The kids should be in bed. It's we can
drive is smoking. So what are we talking about, Jamie?
Well, there was something that I wasn't sure that I should bring up, and I feel like it's time. It's about time. And I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Ryan and I are from a very small town. We could pretty much throw a rock and hit each other's houses from where we live. This town is known for a lot of paranormal and strange occurrences. There's a lot of allegedly haunted places in this area. Haunted Heronia, obviously, the show that we created, my wife and I, and Nate LaCroix created, is basically based out of all the on all the haunted locations around here. But that being said, I kind of want to talk about something that happened in this area a long time ago. We've kind of, it's funny because we briefly touched on it at one point, and it's something that's been in the forefront of my mind for over 20 years now, and that is, we'll see if this is going to ruffle feathers or not, but that is the disappearance of Jake Just. And yeah, so I didn't know if I should bring it up today, especially on a live call, but you know what? It's something that I've been wrestling with for the better part of 22 years now.
Okay.
And I just thought that it might be something to bring up today. We can take it or leave it, but I just wanted to say, I'll just say it because, I might as well. When I was in high school, you know what? I'll tell the story for those from what I
Keep the story alive, man.
Let's keep it, and that's the thing. And you know what? For Jake's mom, Debbie, if you're listening, I know that I think that you'd be happy about this because I know that you've always been searching for answers and trying to keep the story alive, like Ryan just said. So it's something I've been thinking about since it happened when I was in high school. I believe I was 16 when this happened. And for those of you that don't know, Jake Just was a young man that lived in our town, went to MSS, which is a high school in our area. And on Devil's Night, he disappeared. And he was at a party, a Halloween party. He got into a little mischief. Some things happen. I mean, again, allegedly. I, to be honest, I dove into this at the age of 16 pretty heavily with all the newspapers and anything I could find out about the story. Weird. He was a year older than me, but he went to the other high school. To be honest, I didn't even know him. I don't think I'd ever met him, but just for some reason, the story really spoke to me right off the bat. In high school, I had an English media class, and I wanted to do a movie. I wanted to do a documentary on it. I'd started doing all kinds of research. I wanted to do a documentary at the time. I was told it was probably what's the word? A little too close to home. A little like don't like it was. It was touchy. It was a touchy subject, and people weren't comfortable with it, which is fair. So I left it alone. Still kind of, checked out what I could and did a little research. Every Halloween, the story kind of would show up in the newspaper. I'd always be intrigued and look at it and rethink on everything. So yeah, Devil's Night, he went to a party. Some stuff happened. He was apparently walking home with his friend through, he went one way, his friend went the other. He went through the bush apparently for a shortcut. And that was the last anybody saw of him. There's a number of stories. There's a number of theories.
Some of them are paranormal.
Some of them are paranormal. And to be honest, I've been thinking, again, as an actor and as somebody who an artist almost, I guess you'd say, somebody who wants to create, the story itself, to me, gave the opportunity to a lot of different answers and like a lot of different endings and a lot of different scenarios. So still intriguing. Obviously, I don't know if intriguing is the right word because it's sad. There's just a lot of emotions that come with it. Again, I don't know him. I don't know the family, but I do feel for everyone involved. A lot of of my friends and people I know were close with him as well. And yeah, just a very strange thing. Yeah, like you said, there is paranormal. There could be paranormal ties to it. Maybe there's none at all, but somebody vanished, and there's really absolutely no explanation that anyone's given in 22 years. I will say, I don't know if maybe it'll come out here or not, but I'd spoken to a psychic, a well-known, very credible psychic, if that's such a thing, somebody that had a lot of credits to her name anyway, and she had given me some information that apparently she had given to police. It was I don't know if I should. I'm going to keep that one to myself for now, and we'll leave that at that. But interesting stuff.
The cat's out of the bag, I guess. I mean, I have been privately investigating, legitimately, into the case, and I don't know if it's new information because the police are not providing me any information, but it's new information in the terms of me not reading about it on anything that's public. So I may have come across new information that the police may already know, but the public don't already know, or the family might already know. I don't know yet. But we'll have to talk more about that, because if you're making a documentary about it, I'm already investigating. Hey, let's want to do a real project. Let's.
Well, you know what? Maybe it's 22 years in the making. I seriously started it, like I don't know.
This is the show you've been working on?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, but when I was 16, I started, and I had all the newspapers. The time I was going to interview, I had all the information. But yeah, I was veered away from it, and it's still something 22 years later. That's this a month and a bit from now. This Halloween will be 22 years. 1998, right? I'm pretty sure it was October 31st, 1998.
Around there.
I'm almost positive. So still wondering about it in 22 years later. So Joanne, we were talking about Jake Just, if that rings a bell to you. I mean, you could probably search it and start, and I know there's information out there.
So I would suggest first thing to do, Jamie, is contact mom and get consent, because once we get there's lots of things. So
that's one of the reasons why I never really went too far with it, because for sure it's I want the family's consent, and I want to be able to help more than anything. So obviously I would reach out to Debbie. I feel it was weird that I'm saying her name because I never met her, but read enough about her. She seems like a lovely lady.
Could I not really hijack this, but talk off of this into a segue to a topic that kind of popped in my head based on what you had brought up, because I didn't know what you were going to do.
Of course, that's how this works.
And since we have people talking in the comments, in the police or investigative field, it is very common for people to resort to clairvoyance or mediums to search for missing people, or to see if they have passed on and loved ones. So if anyone who's listening, I'm interested in comments, and Jamie, yours as well. Maybe we can talk about that for a little bit, on whether or not it's useful to have somebody in that pseudoscience or that touch-you-go field to assist in something that's really serious, because that's kind of like how our investigations kind of bridge into the paranormal. Like, we're a very serious private investigating firm within the community, but we're applying our professional skills on a topic that is normally ridiculed or made fun of.
Right.
So I mean,
it's a good segue.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's great that you brought it up, but again, to get to the paranormal side of things, the segue to that, let's talk about that.
Yeah, perfect. I like that idea. yeah, I find it really interesting, and it's been widely known that police have used those kind of services on many investigations, and you hear a lot of stories where they've actually solved cases for them and came up with some evidence that nobody could possibly know, which is quite interesting. So believe it or not, there is some kind of thing that they're tapping into where they're getting information. Again, I mean, this is hearsay to me. I don't know for a fact if this is something that actually happens. I've heard stories about it, but I can't come out and say that's a for sure thing that's going on, right?
The interesting thing that I've read too is that, like, I've seen situations where, like, say a medium or a clairvoyant has said, like, I sense, however it works, them in this location at the bottom of a well. Well, it's a lead, and whether or not you have an investigator that believes in that enough that's going to follow that lead, and then they go to the lead and they end up going to the well, and good night, Chantel. Go and leave to the go to the area, and then they happen to find out that that source was reliable. But here's the thing: you would expect the police to turn around and be like, "Thank you so much, Mrs. or Mr. Medium." No, they turn around and go, "How the fuck did you know that? Turn around, you're under arrest." Right? Because well, think about it.
Well,
how did they know about it?
For sure.
They could have been the criminal. And
right. So they basically put themselves as in the investigation as a suspect at that point,
like an alibi, almost, like try to rule them out. And I mean, and I've read cases about that too, and it seems like something that people could do, and that would kind of segue into my true feelings about, well, my true misunderstood feelings of mediumship and clairvoyance is that some people that I have also encountered they do charge for this service, but I have negative opinions on charging for a service that cannot guarantee results or a fact. I was having this conversation with a couple people, Barry Taff, if you're watching this, and Alex Mistretta. We were actually talking about other organizations and how to raise money properly without being subjected to that whole paid to do things, or paid to say these things, or paid to do other things. So, in my opinion, the service that we're doing right now, this is a PSA. This is a service towards the idea or the culture of alien and UFO phenomenon, and I don't think we should charge for something that unless we can prove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying, there's like 15 thoughts that were popping into my head there, but yeah. On that note, as I guess for those of you who don't know, TESA, the Experience Support Association, is an organization or an association for people that have experienced any paranormal phenomenon to share their stories and share what has happened, and to try and get some kind of I don't know, clarity or closure or something to just kind of help them out. And yeah, it is a as of right now, it is basically a volunteer service. I guess there are certain elements and certain people that would charge, and there is fees to certain things depending on what it is that you're looking to get help. But for the most part, it's just we're here, and a group of us are here to try and help people with anything that they may have experienced. If that made sense. This is mostly your baby, so there we go.
Well, yeah, no, just giving you a assist there. So I just pulled up the website. You can go to tesacan.org, and you can watch this little video. That kind of basically explains who we are. I'll see if I can play it, and hopefully the audio turns out good. But we'll go from here. If it'll play.
You got too much going on.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Oh, you
so
muted yourself, and I think you muted the whole thing.
Oh, did I mute the whole thing? Oh,
I
okay,
think
it's just
so.
music in the background. So you guys could read that. Sorry for the podcast. I guess you'll hear nothing.
Cool. We're working at the kinks, guys. Working at the kinks.
Just working at the kinks here, trying to figure this out. So essentially, what the concept is, you shouldn't be alone. So to research what we're doing here, I'm just going to stop the share screen here. To do what we do, we take the story, we talk to everyone, and we connect them with each other. And so that way you guys can communicate with each other and try to understand what's happening to you guys. So we investigate a slew of things: paranormal activity, alien abductions, UFO phenomenon, cryptids. We do what's it called? Precognition, foresight, retrocognition, which is future sight, which is mediumship and all that other stuff. We essentially want to study in a friendly way and assist people who are developing or interested in having these types of abilities that. Through our research, we learn more about them, and we learn more about the people, the markers that we can, that other people, experience the same phenomenon. And through that, we try to network them together, if that makes sense. At the same time, study the phenomenon to figure out what exactly is happening. So on that's TESA on a whole. My part in it's more aggressive in the sense that I'm trying to figure out what the government isn't telling us to basically neutralize the negative and convert that energy or transmute that energy into a more positive or neutral gathering to bring everything together.
Ryan Stacy, the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I'm not a theorist. I'm a fact guy.
Conspiracist? Facts man. Sorry.
So it's really hard to explain. Chantel,
you did a pretty good job.
Lisa's here. Lisa, you still here? Can you explain to our audience or how you view TESA? Because TESA is something for everybody.
That's the thing, right? It's basically any unusual occurrence or phenomenon we want to hear from you and check out, and there's been a lot of different stories and a lot of different people and a lot of very similar events, and we've kind of touched on this before. I'm into all this, anything paranormal, anything unusual, but we kind of are trying to bridge the gap, and when we've seen evidence of ghosts and haunting and paranormal spiritual stuff that way, kind of interconnecting with UFO and cryptic and all that stuff is very much, there's a lot of similarities and a lot of things that maybe are more connected than we know. So it's just we're mostly, I think, on a whole, just trying to get as much facts and as much knowledge as we can in everything and answers. And like it says on this shirt that Ryan created, which is a Beyond the Tinfoil Hat shirt, we know you know.
I did create it, but the image was provided to me. I forgot we're live. I can't censor myself here.
There you
The
go.
image, the information was given to me from an unknown source.
There, yeah, get it out there. We're live. Share the
Yeah.
knowledge.
I'm still under investigation.
Ryan is yeah. That's your story to tell. First off, thank you, Dale. We got a couple people watch on YouTube, which is great.
Right on.
So thank you. I love that you're enjoying this, and thank you for the shout outs. Share, let people know. Again, this is our first time going live. I like this. I like the interactions, and hopefully we get some more people. Scarborough Sasquatch Station is joining the chat.
Hey, dude. So I just want to interject here and say that there's more. Jamie and I are just two people. There's quite a lot on the support team. When a part of the investigation, like I'm the filter. So when the investigation comes in, I will collect all the data that's necessary or needed in order for the team to properly look into it and handle the experiencer. So from there, I have to be able to determine what type of event it is. Is it cryptid? Is it paranormal? Is it UFO? Is it a mixture of both? Because there's a lot of parallels. And I have my personal research. I honestly believe that alien abductions and shadow figures and paranormal entities, all these things are connected, if not the same, or they work together, just misinterpreted as other deities or different explanations from different races and religions and things like that. I think it's all the same thing. And once I'm able to connect them all together, I believe I'll be closer to understanding what it may or may not be. So, and part of that, once I'm speaking with the experiencer, as a private investigator and a security guard, and that my transferable skills is understanding the identifiers or the marks for trauma, PTSD, anxiety, depression. Once I'm able to identify that those symptoms may or may not exist based on what's being told to me, a non-judgment review is basically a referral is sent out for the experiencers. So case in point, Leslie Mitchell-Clark over here, she is a regression hypnotherapist, but she also helps with getting people to quit smoking, bring down anxiety, bring down depression. But she also believes in the paranormal and UFO, and she's also very helpful with hypnosis and regression hypnotherapy to bring people back to the time of missing time in alien abductions. So I utilize her as a tool to authenticate or reinforce the evidence that I've collected so far to fact check the statement of the experiencer. But the thing is, the experiencer isn't sent to them for the study. They're sent to her to alleviate the anxiety, the depression, and the stress. And then what usually happens is Leslie will come back to me and say, the ailment is gone, and they're kind of cured, or they feel better, but they're still seeing these beings. So what that helps me do in terms of an investigation is have a professional understanding that the mind isn't making this up to displace pre-existing stress from the past. And it's actually legitimate anxiety and depression from something that cannot be explained. And Priscilla, my wife here, she's a Reiki master. She's used in the same sense to heal. Wes is a mentor, and he's a fellow experiencer himself. Anna, she is an experiencer and an astrologist, and a publisher. This guy is with me. No, he's a good guy. He's the voice and reason here. Tim Morrison is our demonologist and cryptozoologist, and he is a spirit attachment practitioner, which is a open source exorcist. Just basically helping with those. Stephen Coffey, he's a drone expert. He owns and operates drones. Richard Palmisano, he is a law enforcement officer, retired, but he's also an avid paranormal investigator for 31 years, 31 give or take. And Michel Deschamps, he is an archivist. He has documents of government documents that have been leaked or he somehow got a hold of. So we all kind of work together for for the experiencer. And it all starts by going to the reporting system, which I just realized this link is dummied. I got to fix that. But you go to the reporting system, report your sighting, report your event, and then we'll give you some help if we can.
Perfect. And yes, thank you, Lisa, who commented on there that I find TESA very helpful and someone to talk to for support and help her as an experiencer. So thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what we're here for. Can help. Want to help any way possible. Leslie, there you go. Got a little shout out for Leslie there. I was just reading.
The questions here.
Yeah, I see that. So I don't know if there's any proof of either. There's definitely a lot of evidence of both. I don't know if we can. I can't comment on any proof.
Proof is subjective. Define proof. What proof is for me is nowhere near what proof is for you. You know, I need like to follow my own investigation, even if it's a renowned, famous, like Area 51. Area 51 could be all these conspiracies, but until I actually investigate it and I actually go to Area 51, I'm not going to believe what anyone else has told me because I have an investigative process. So proof for me is hard, very hard. But other people might accept the story and the concept as little proof, and it might be enough. The way I work with this analytical brain of mine that doesn't allow me to accept mysticism is I look at comparisons. So for an example, Lisa is an experiencer. We shared her experience last episode, which was our teaser, which is the reason why we're doing it live again, because we had such a great reaction. I can tell you without a doubt that the beings that she drew and the beings that she's seen, I have multiple reports of other people seeing the same things in different areas of the world, drawing similar things in different areas of the world. So as an investigator, that data for me is proof that this phenomenon is global, and it's also proof that these individuals are somehow connected to the same thing, whether that's a conspiracy or a real known phenomenon that is yet to be determined. That's so, again, proof is subjective.
True. On that note, we're gonna have to cut to commercial.
Oh yeah, forgot about those. We're live.
But we don't actually have to here live.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I know we were going to, but yeah, we might as well just keep going to keep this rocking. And for those of you listening back on the replay, you'll be listening to the commercials right now.
Okay, I gotta find them.
So yeah, you don't have to play them. You can cut it when the time. We'll just go.
I gotcha. So
see, right. So we're still going. We're live, and we're gonna rock through this.
Yeah, I'll just write the time down. I gotcha. So
33:10 or something.
This little mess up is because if you're gonna see that and hear this on our podcast. So you guys get the little bit of a privilege of being here live tonight to comment and add to it, but there's people that aren't here hanging out with us that are going to listen to this later and be like, I should have been there live. So if you're listening to that now, show up next week, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the TESA page or my page, which is Heed the World, and Jamie, or Beyond the Tinfoil Hat, which is Jamie's. Just find us, Google us. We exist.
And I do have a question because I see all the questions coming up, and it's cool because it's showing some coming from Facebook, some coming from YouTube.
Are you able to click the comment? Can you do that on your side?
No.
Okay. Which one?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying all of them. I'm just saying it's cool that it's showing where they're coming from. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody commenting on other platforms that they're not coming up, or does it just stream from all of them?
So right now we're on Facebook and YouTube. We could switch over to Twitter at some point, but we're not doing that tonight. But right now we got everybody that's listening.
Cool. So anybody listening right now can comment.
That's correct.
So if you're listening, just throw a comment out. Ask some questions.
Let's give this guy a go here. How many folks have assessed the PTSD services to help them? So I would like to say everyone, I guess, that displays the symptoms that would indicate some sort of stress level. My goal as a filter is to try. There are ways to alleviate the PTSD and the depression a little bit just by me talking to them. So the investigative process, as I'm getting information, I'm talking to them, I'm asking them for more details. Tell me the color, tell me that, can you draw this? A lot of times by the time they actually draw everything out, that might just be enough to get it out of the mind and on paper. And when they actually draw it, they do another assessment of themselves. And then I will make a referral always. Whether or not they actually reach out and accept that referral, that's on them. But I can say that, from the transcripts that I filled out, I would say majority of them actually take it up on the offer. So it's subjective.
They're all offered something, right? Like there is a number of different ways that we try and help with the PTSD, because it is obviously, especially going through, there's two ways that it could happen, right? That they could bring up almost worse PTSD by reliving some of that stuff. But there is a number of different avenues for people to get help. My wife and I are both health and wellness coaches, and I've gone through like life coaching. So I have a life coaching certificate, and there's just certain people respond different ways to different things. So we do have a number of different resources to help people, and I think everybody who sends in a report is offered some kind of help. And like you said, just a matter of whether they take it or what works best for them. It's kind of
at a basic level. So when you report something, especially to a reporting system, I'm going to put that up here on a banner here, just so you guys can get the direct link. But on a basic level, once you fill out a report, you've already began the healing process or the digestive process, in the sense that you don't have, talking and thinking at the same time, not a good combination.
That's kind of how it works, isn't it?
So yeah. So having someone to talk to, or knowing that there's someone to talk to when you have these experiences, that is key. Because prior to this, I'm sure you can talk to a lot of other people. I'm not saying we're the only people in this. I always, when I come across another ufologist or another person doing this stuff, I always say thank you for your service. It's just like, military service. I was in the Army and all that stuff too. But it is a service that we're providing for you, for the experiencer. And the reason why it's the Experiencer Support Association is because if it wasn't for you guys talking to us or to other people, we wouldn't have anything to do. So, but on a minimum, you get it off your chest because you document it, you type it, you read it, and then you're like, do I really sound like that? And do I really believe this? And then when you review it and you hit send, it's out there. But once I get it, I send it back to you, and you have this journal. Your thoughts have been split up into different categories that you can take, print, and save. And now you have a category. You can start saving your events while I'm studying them on the same side. At the very minimum, you're documenting your own experiences and you're keeping track of it. And you're getting it off your chest. So that's why the PTSD, the anxiety, and the depression, all these mental health issues, regardless of the trauma, it's still treated or should be handled the same, because you yourself are suffering. And what we're doing is we're trying to analyze, trying to cure or heal or help you get through it, but in a way that's professional, for one, and in a way to make you feel comfortable, because you can't go to a cop because they won't believe you. You can't go to a doctor because they'll medicate you. You can't go to the government because then they'll follow you. So, so we're just trying to create that same environment, safe place. Yes. And that's why Experiencers Anonymous, that video that was shown, that is a project that hasn't started yet because of COVID, but that is actually going to be a bunch of private support groups, similar to the Alcoholic Anonymous model or the NA model, where you can show up, you can talk about your experiences. No investigators are allowed, so you don't go to those if you're expecting to see me. I won't be there. Because the idea is, because some people like to write, but they're afraid to write. Some people like to talk. So they'll go there and they'll talk just to be heard, because at the end, it's not in here, and that's where the stress goes. The mind, right? The what is it? The three chakras there: body, mind, spirit, all that stuff. All that stuff is connected. So how you feel is how you think, and how you think. You know, we want you to feel better, and then once now, on terms of a investigative process, that really helps me is if I take your story from while you're experiencing all this trauma, your statement, then we help you get better or feel better, or at least accept what's happening to you, or explain what's happening to you, and you still see the same thing, or you're still experiencing the same phenomenon, then there's something else going on, because we're also ruling out the possibility of these being known illnesses, and we're left with a bunch of unknowns. And that's what's fascinating, is through my research, there's a lot of you guys who think that a mental illness is going to prevent anyone from taking you serious, and I'm here to tell you that none of that shit matters, because it's seen through your pain, through your suffering, that you believe that something doesn't make sense, and our goal collectively is to try and make sense of that so you feel better, and then whatever we're left with, is data. Sorry, James. Go.
Yeah, no, it's the tough thing, right? Like, the hope is that you talking about it helps heal and helps start the healing process. I mean, of course, there's nothing to say that that's it's a perfect system, but that's the goal. We're here to try and help, and to try and help the healing process is basically what it's all about.
Here's an interesting question. I would love to comment. Jamie, you want to read that?
What you got? Oh, no. Uh-oh. I contacted MUFON about my experience in 2013. Getting it out was helpful, but MUFON was not. Interesting. Well, I think this is all you, Ryan. I don't know.
So Ryan's got a lot to say. Why you thought MUFON wasn't helpful. Backstory, I was the national chief investigator for MUFON Canada. And I was part of the MUFON organization for 5 years. I was the national director of training, so I was responsible for teaching people on how to investigate UFOs. And the experiential research team, I was a part of the largest organization that existed at the time. And the way that it was run, I started to challenge it and try to create different ways to improve the organization. And my improvements was taken as a hostile attack. And they ended up removing me from the organization because I was preventing funds from being distributed to them to do what it is that they do. So the reason for MUFON being, in my opinion, without knowing why they weren't helpful, but you're not, Lisa was also an ex-MUFON person as well. I can comment and say that the training that goes into the field investigators with MUFON is a money grab, because you purchase a book that has a bunch of Google references to how to learn about things that commonly exist, and if they don't exist, if none of these explanations explain what it is that you're looking at, then it must be something else. And a lot of that has nothing to do with the experiencer and dealing with people, other than interview tactics and things like that. It's very dry. I'm in the middle of writing a new book. Just want to throw that out there. But I'm trying to be politically correct here. I have a lot of reserved opinions on this, and I have recently mended some wounds. So I'm kind of hoping, but I'm trying to be honest here. But where their failures come from is the fact that they're a numbers game. They want to have all these. They have over 100,000 sightings, which is great, but not every single one of those have been are actual UFOs, or most of them have been identified. But they don't tell you that, and they say they have 500 volunteers, but they don't have 500 volunteers. Canada had claimed to have 50, and they just had me and two other people. Those two people quit, and then it was always me, but they always said MUFON had 500 people. So because what they're doing is they're selling that manual for so much money, and then the people get the training, they get the certificate, but then they're left on their own to figure out and interpret how to do this thing. There's no guidance. So I myself had no guidance, but because I have a background in investigations, I went to school for private investigations and live business and all that other stuff. I was able to transfer my skills as much as other people. There are other credible people in MUFON as well that apply their real life skills into this phenomenon too, and they do well. But the reason why they do well is not because of MUFON. They do well because they do well, and they push towards it. So, long story short, you probably got a really bad investigator, and unless it was me, then
Hilarious. I was just thinking that.
That'd be hilarious.
Timing.
But and you got a 90% chance of getting someone who is a retired enthusiast. No offense, Jamie. But that is just doing it after they go to work, after they come home, after they, it's something to do. And it's still a loyal thing to do. It's still an honorable thing to do. A lot of people work 9 to 5. Not everybody has the luxury of doing it full time like I do. Right. So, and I think where I'm trying to get at is you want to have quality, I guess. Do your research. You shouldn't just apply to MUFON. You should apply to everyone. You shouldn't just apply to TESA. You should apply to TESA, MUFON, and the other guys.
Well,
why?
Here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
MUFON was like the only option for a long time.
Was. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, first off, just sorry to jump in there, Ryan, but I know that you'll just you might get on.
Go ahead, stop me. Everyone, we should ban MUFON. We should ban that word. Like, have a buzzer.
No more MUFON talk. First off, though, Elle, thank you for sharing that. And it's definitely useful to know that, I'm glad to hear that it did help talking about your experience. That's extremely good to know. And I'm sorry that MUFON wasn't more helpful. But to be 100% honest, that's kind of why we're here, right? At the end of the day, is to offer more support for the experiencers. And I mean, this is your baby, right? Like, at the end of the day, I think that's the whole point. Is it?
Well, I created TESA because of. Sorry, I created TESA based on. Oh, you froze, man. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Because to fill the void that MUFON wasn't doing. MUFON was missing a lot of things. And what I've tried to do is try to create a sister organization that could complement MUFON in their journey. But in doing that, I exposed the financial gain as part of their plan. So that doesn't sit well with me, as we talked earlier. We accept donations. We, for service, like not for service, but for as a tip, I guess, a compliment to say, I like what you did. Thank you so much. But if you can't afford it, then don't pay. You still need the service. The service is there for you. It's free. It's humanity, right? You're not gonna like walk an old lady across the street because she's having a hard time and then put your hand out and say, give me some money, right? You're just gonna help the old lady across the street. Right. So, you guys are watching this live in the future. If you guys are the regular bunch, I just want to say this now. Do not bring up MUFON ever again, please. It gets me going.
Well, yeah.
I love the idea.
But definitely playing with fire.
Go ahead, Jamie. Change the topic, quick.
No,
Oh, here.
you're the. Oh, you're putting on, you're putting on your.
I'll just change the mood. I'll just change the mood.
You look like Dick Tracy now.
Dick Stacy.
Nice. Later.
You're breaking up. Okay, what's up?
All right. Well, we got 10 minutes. Oh, I got lost. Am I there? We're good.
You're here.
Everything good now? Okay. Yeah. So we got just under 10 minutes left because we're gonna keep this to an hour. Keep it short and sweet. First time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We have a lot of fun. If you haven't listened, go back, listen to the other episodes. Yeah, we kind of didn't get into too many things, but a lot at the same time today. Any questions you want, fire at us. Shoot them live. Shoot them over to either of us on our pages. Go to the TESA website. If you are an experiencer, please do fill out the form because again, we're here to help. That's exactly what we're here for.
We also have a phone line that isn't fully operational yet. Just got to get the voicemail going. That's a new thing too, and you guys could call and leave your. We can do the report for you over the phone. That's another thing too. And another thing that I would like to do in the future, once we get everything else done, is open up a live experiencer support in the sense of it's happening to you right now, and you need some investigative tips on how to capture it so you can send it to us later. So almost like an emergency response for paranormal events. That's
wow.
Yeah, that was new.
Cool.
New to you. Yeah. So lots of things.
Yeah. I like it. Smart idea. Look at this, like just growing by the second. What else you got? Oh, so you know what you should bring up? We got 8 minutes left. Why don't you talk a little bit about Interconnected since we brought up the connection and interness?
So Interconnected is our 3-day expo. In the past, I have assisted with organizing the Alien Cosmic Expo, which was an event in Toronto. I was the main marketing guy. What's that, sorry?
Ace,
yeah. So I was the main marketing guy for quite a few years, and there were some things there that I didn't like. So, I've taken on the responsibility of creating another expo called Interconnected, a interdimensional cosmic expo. I just started the ball rolling, but collectively it will be an expo presented by TESA, the entire organization, where it would be a 3-day event designed for the experiencer. So it's going to be like similar events where you have speakers and panels and conversations and tables and book signings and things like that. But there's also going to be a screening night. There's going to be a networking night for experiencers. There's going to be I'm hoping to have some yoga or some spas or some relaxational workshops available to you guys to just come out and relax. And basically, it's going to be for the experiencers. It's a big celebration. At the same time, researching and learning. It's going to have a big combination of everything. And still waiting for confirmation, but I'm working with the Canadian Space Agency to try and secure an astronaut. If I'm able to secure an astronaut, then we'll have to host a kid event, and which just means it'd be kid friendly, and why not introduce your young ones to UFOs and paranormal and all that other stuff. So a lot of it's in development. We got 4 months to finalize everything, and then we're going to spearhead it in January, basically announcing everything, and then everything will be able to buy tickets. You'll be able to do whatever, sponsor, speak to whatever you feel like. It's going to be a game changer. It's definitely and the goal, because I want to bring the ufology, paranormal, and cryptids together. So Scarborough Sasquatch Station, if you're hearing this for the first time, that's Scarborough's an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I am. I'd like to plan a Bigfoot searching research event through TESA. Contact us and find out, see maybe we can work together. You guys could sponsor an event or we could sponsor you. But what we basically want to do is we want to have all the elements together, and then we can chomp at this phenomenon together, because I've been to UFO conferences, I've been to paranormal conferences, I have never even heard of a cryptid conference. I don't even think might not even have any in Canada. But the whole idea is, from my experience as a ufologist, which I've been told that I am. I don't call myself a ufologist. People call me a ufologist. That's specific.
You are. I mean, it's part of it.
That's just for my haters. I'm just being politically correct there. You called me that. I did not. So, if I go to a paranormal event, they love UFOs. They love alien abductions. They love everything about the phenomenon. But if I go to a UFO event and I say, hey, I saw a ghost down the hallway, they freaking lose their mind. They argue, they bitch, they holler, they hate it, which is why I'm trying to bring them together, And then on the cryptid side, Alex Mistretta that I mentioned earlier, he is a very smart guy, cryptozoologist in California, but he does not buy into any of the paranormal, interdimensional, pseudoscience explanations for Bigfoot, and that's okay because he has evidence to support that theory. But there are some people like Tim, for an example. He's a cryptozoologist, but he believes more in the fact of the possibility of interdimensional beings. So there's that parallel. So what I want to bring everybody together to have that conversation, not to fight, but to find that medium ground and work together in an intellectual way. And the challenges that I've had with that, starting with the ufology community.
Sorry, the comments.
Most of them are arrogant, and but that's okay. If I don't need them. You just got me, right? We'll see how far we go, right? Change. Yeah. Be the world you wish you want to live in, or something like that. What's that saying?
Pretty close. Yeah. It's pretty close. Yeah, I just want to touch on a couple of the comments first. Okay, go ahead. I know you're not gonna like one. So Dale, thank you. It was good. That was a great laugh. Ryan, I know we'll disagree with that. His wife is actually a Reiki master. I don't know.
I would agree with that if I didn't have it. Have you ever tried it? Because it works. I was a naysayer until it happened, and it's interesting. And
I have no comment. I don't know anything about it. But thank you. I thought it was hilarious. I just I just like that. Also, the event will be held in I believe it's October. Yes, of 2021.
October 1, 2, and 3. October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
There you go. And it will be it's
Collingwood, Ontario.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And if I don't know where you're from, but we do have an international plan to make live stream available at some point. How that is going to work out, we're not sure yet, but we do want to fill up first before we do that. But we're going to find a way to get everybody interconnected. Especially with COVID and everything else, times have changed. The technology exists. It might be the way we have to anyway. So,
well, yeah. Hopefully, we're planning well in advance, over a year away. So hopefully, the world is back to some seeming sense of normal by that point, and we can have a nice big live event and bring everyone together. It'd be awesome, and hopefully you join us, El, no matter where you're from. Hopefully it's an option.
Hopefully. I just lost the screen there.
That's all right.
All right, man.
1 minute left to go.
I can and then I'll do your outro. Anything else? Oh, no, he's joking. Dale says he's joking. You're not joking. You meant that, and we just made you feel bad.
I loved it. It made me laugh anyway. So joking or not, thank you.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Everyone's got opinions, and no one's right, no one's wrong. Discussion is healthy. That's how we're going to solve it, But if where I draw the line is if you put somebody down for having a different belief, and there's no difference in fact on supporting that belief over your own belief, we have to meet. We have to meet in the middle. It's got to be a combination of all the beliefs.
I'm all about it. Eastern Ontario, amazing.
All right, that's right on. You can try and make it on there. Road trip
awesome. For sure.
A beautiful place.
Collingwood is lovely.
Really nice. You can check it out on the website. Just look up accommodations, tesacan.org/accommodations. You'll see it. It's a very beautiful place.
Awesome.
All right, that's time. And where is it? Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. Here we
I just want to thank everybody first for tuning in. Here's your questions. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That was it.
You're too soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Keep your eyes in the sky and heed the world.
That's it for another journey into the fringe. Thanks for joining us here on Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. Catch us next week and follow us again into the realm of mystery and unknown.
For access to the entire episode and more, head to Patreon and find us under the Experiencer Support Association. You can also follow us on Facebook on our page, the Experiencer Support Association, TESA, and on Instagram, Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.
Awesome. Thanks again so much, guys. And we'll be back next week. Shoot over any questions you have during the week. And yeah, and I guess I leave the studio.
Have a good night. Peace.